This free garden fertilizer made my plants explode with fruit. If you've ever stared at your garden, wondering how some folks get those jaw-dropping harvests, lush tomato vines, cucumbers hanging like ornaments, or pepper plants just dripping with fruit, let me tell you a little secret. It's not fancy store-bought fertilizer. And it's not expensive grow lights either. It's a simple, free liquid you can make right at home. And honestly, once I started using it, my plants didn't just grow, they exploded with fruit. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain and sharing exactly what this liquid is, why it works, and how you can brew up your own batch. Whether you're a beginner still figuring out compost or a seasoned gardener chasing the next big yield, this is something you'll want in your toolkit. The magic liquid I'm talking about is Fermented Plant Juice, or FPJ for short. It's a time-tested organic gardening booster that gardeners across Asia have been using for centuries. So, FPJ is made by fermenting fast-growing green plants, like weeds, comfrey, or even sweet potato leaves, with brown sugar. The sugar draws out plant juices that are rich in enzymes, minerals, and growth hormones. Over a few days, natural fermentation transforms this mixture into a potent liquid fertilizer that, honestly, your plants will absolutely love. And the best part? It's completely free if you've got access to green plants and a bit of sugar. When plants grow quickly, they concentrate nutrients and growth hormones in their tissues. Think of comfrey, stinging nettle, or even tender weeds. They shoot up fast because they're packed with natural growth energy. By fermenting these plants, we're essentially extracting some pretty amazing stuff. Growth hormones like auxins and gibberellins. These little guys signal plants to branch out, bloom, and set fruit. Plus, we're getting trace minerals drawn up from the soil by deep-rooted weeds, and then returned to your crops in a form they can actually use. And let's not forget about the beneficial microbes from the fermentation process. These enrich your soil life and give your plants' immunity a real boost. So, what's the result? Healthier plants with stronger root systems and a little hormonal nudge to flower and fruit more abundantly. You know, when I first applied FPJ to my tomatoes, I wasn't really expecting miracles. But, oh boy, within 2 weeks I saw denser foliage, earlier blossoms, and a ridiculous amount of fruit set. By mid-season, my neighbors were actually asking what fertilizer I was using. Alright, enough with the theory. Let's get practical. Making FPJ is surprisingly simple. You don't need any fancy equipment, just a clean jar, some leafy greens, and brown sugar. Here's my tried-and-true method. Step 1. Gather your green material. Pick fast-growing, healthy plants in the morning when their nutrient levels are at their peak. Avoid anything that's been sprayed with chemicals. My favorites are comfrey, wild amaranth, and young weeds. Alright, first, chop the greens into small pieces. This helps the sugar draw out the juices more efficiently. Now, step 2. Mix with brown sugar. Weigh your chopped greens and mix them with an equal weight of brown sugar. The sugar here acts as both a preservative and an extraction agent, pulling moisture out through osmosis. Next, massage the mixture gently until it becomes wet and syrupy. Step 3 is to ferment in a jar. Pack the mixture into a clean glass jar, leaving some space at the top. Be sure to cover it loosely with a cloth or paper so bugs stay out but gases can escape. Store the jar in a cool, shaded spot for 5 to 7 days. You'll notice bubbles and a sweet-sour aroma. That's the fermentation magic happening. Step 4. Strain and store. After fermentation, strain the liquid through a fine cloth. This golden brown syrup is your FPJ concentrate. Store it in a sealed bottle in a cool, dark place. Properly made FPJ can last for months. FPJ is powerful stuff, so you really don't need much. For most applications, just dilute 1 tablespoon of FPJ in 1 liter of water. Personally, I like to use it in 2 ways. First, as a foliar spray, spraying diluted FPJ directly on leaves gives plants an instant nutrient boost. It's especially effective in early mornings or late evenings when the stomata, or leaf pores, are open. Second, as a soil drench, pouring FPJ around the base of plants feeds soil microbes and strengthens root systems. For fruiting crops like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and squash, I apply fermented plant juice about once every 7 to 10 days during their flowering and fruiting stage. Here's a pro tip. Start with mild dilutions and really take the time to observe your plants. If the leaves stay vibrant and growth is steady, you're golden. But if anything looks stressed, just go ahead and dilute it further. When I first tested fermented plant juice, I applied it to only half of my tomato bed as an experiment. And within 3 weeks, the difference was unmistakable. The FPJ-treated plants were taller and sturdier, flowering earlier, and setting twice as many fruits. By harvest time, the control plants looked respectable, but the FPJ group, they were just overloaded with tomatoes. The vines bowed under the weight, and I found myself making sauces and giving away baskets to friends. I've since used FPJ on peppers, strawberries, cucumbers, and even leafy greens. Every time it's the same story: bigger yields, healthier plants, and richer soil. Like any gardening trick, FPJ works best when used thoughtfully. Here are a few lessons I've learned over the years. Quality in equals quality out. Don't use diseased or old plants for fermentation. Healthy, vigorous greens give the best results. Don't overdo it. More isn't always better. Over-application can overwhelm plants or attract pests, so stick to regular, diluted applications. Combined with good soil practices, FPJ is powerful, but it's not a magic bullet. Healthy soil, compost, and mulch form the foundation. FPJ is the booster rocket. Store properly. Keep your FPJ in a cool, dark place and tightly sealed. If it ever smells rotten instead of sweet-sour, compost it and start fresh. Gardening doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. Sometimes the most powerful growth boosters are right under our noses, or in this case, in our weeds. Fermented plant juice has completely changed the way I approach plant nutrition. It's cheap, natural, easy to make, and the results are almost unbelievable. If you want to see your garden burst with vitality and overflowing harvests, give FPJ a try. And if you found this guide useful, make sure to subscribe to SoilSage Chronicles on YouTube for more hands-on gardening experiments, sustainable techniques, and soil wisdom. Don't forget to share this article with fellow gardeners who'd love a free, game-changing boost for their plants. Your garden will thank you.